Imagine you are in a game where the rules have always been clear. Two teams, one ball, one goal each. Suddenly the rules are up for debate. Some wants to redefine what counts as a player, others say the undermines the whole game. That's the heart of today's growing global debate over gender definitions. You heard that right, gender definitions. This week, New Zealand's populist party, New Zealand First, this is the name of party, introduced a bill that aims to legally define a man as an adult human biological male and a woman as an adult human biological female. The bill isn't coming out of the thin air. It follows closely on the heels of a landmark UK Supreme Court ruling that declared legally recognition of women should be based on biological sex, not gender identity. Winston Peters, the party's leader and also New Zealand's Deputy Prime Minister, Deputy PM, said the bill is a pushback against what he calls, and I quote, woke ideology. And again I quote, cancerous society engineering. According to him, this is about restoring common sense, ensuring women's safety and preserving fairness, especially in the areas like sports and access to women-only spaces like bathroom. He mentioned that. But why is this happening now? Simply put, the global pendulum is swinging. It's swinging fast. Over the past decade, many countries have embraced more fluid understanding of genders. Laws were updated, forms became more inclusive, and organizations adopted gender-neutral policies. For progressives, it was a win for inclusivity. For others, especially those who felt left out of this whole gender conversation, it sparked confusion and resentment. Populist Party has now seized this moment. They are framing these gender debates as not just about identity or gender, but about the complete societal order. They argue that blurring gender lines has real-world consequences. Like what? Like undermining women's right, compromising safety in gendered spaces, and, of course, confusing children. They say the law must reflect biological reality. Supporters of such definitions argue women's sports must remain biologically fair to protect the integrity of female competitors. Same-sex spaces exist for safety reasons, especially in the places like that of prisons and shelters. And also children should not be exposed to radical gender ideologies before they are old enough to process them and make their own decisions. But critics say something different. They argue that these bills oversimplify a complex issue, a very complex issue, ignoring the lived realities of transgender people. They focus on lived realities. It is a distraction from more pressing issues like inflation, healthcare, or the housing or the cost of living crisis. It creates a hostile climate for the LGBTQ plus individuals, especially trans youth, who already face higher rates of discrimination and mental health challenges. This is what the critics say. New Zealand's central-left opposition leader Chris Hapkins dismissed the bill as political theatre, saying it's just a headline grab to keep populist party alive. And there is one more twist. The bill wasn't introduced by the government itself, but by an individual MP from the New Zealand First Party. That means there is no guarantee if it will even be debated in the parliament, let alone passed. Still, this isn't just about one law in one country. From the UK to the US and now to the New Zealand, there is a growing pattern, a growing trend of governments and political movements trying to legitimize what it means to be a male or female. For some, it is a return of clarity, but for others, it is a rollback of human rights. But one thing is certain, one thing is clear, defining gender is no longer just a social issue. It has become a political one. And the real question is no longer what a man or woman is, but who gets to decide it.